Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell you the truth about silver. Today is Wednesday, the 16th of March, 2022. And currently it's only 10:18 in the morning, though this video will probably go out around midday. That's UK time. We're looking at what is happening to gold and silver prices ahead of this afternoon's FOMC interest rate decision, and also what's happening to markets in general. And what we envisage is going to occur both in the United States and in the UK tomorrow, when our own Monetary Policy Committee decision on interest rates will be announced. So without further ado, let's take a look. Today is the day for American markets. The price of oil, other commodities, gold and silver, interest rate decision by the FOMC. Yes, at 2 p.m. Eastern Time, the FOMC will announce its decision on whether it will increase the Fed funds rate or not. And that will then be followed by Fed Chair Jerome Powell's news conference at 2:30. Indeed, I think it's fair to say that most of us are expecting an interest rate rise. What's going to be particularly noteworthy are the comments Powell makes, and also what else they're going to do vis-a-vis their balance sheet and how they see rates moving in the months ahead. Now, we in the UK tomorrow have the Bank of England meeting. Its Monetary Policy Committee, the equivalent of the Fed's FOMC, will also be announcing whether it will be raising interest rates. We had an interest rate rise in January. We had an interest rate rise in February. We're now in March and we are expecting another rise. Why? Because inflation is rising dramatically, and also the Bank of England's committee will not be meeting in April. The next one will be May. And whilst they can call an emergency meeting, that will be seen as panic. And therefore, I suspect for sure that they're going to raise rates tomorrow in order to get ahead of the curve. Now, let's just have a quick look at the economic data that's happened or been announced this week by the United States. On Monday, we had 1 year and 3 year inflation expectations. And the figures came out at 6%. And 3.8% respectively. Remember, their expectations. But both are higher than what they were previously. Then, yesterday, we had the Producer Price Index coming in at 0.8% compared with expectations of 0.9. But the Empire State Manufacturing Index was appalling. And it came in for March at minus 11.8%. compared with expectations of a positive 5.5. Also today, we have the retail sales figures being announced in the US. And those figures will be announced well ahead of the FOMC decision. Then tomorrow we've got the initial jobless claims and industrial production index. But today is the key day. And in a moment, we'll have a look at how markets are responding and how gold and silver prices are responding in advance of those announcements. Quick look at Bloomberg. Main headline still, of course, Ukraine. And we picked out particularly Bank of England plays tough cop. I'm not going to read much to you, but I will just say that it looks like that the UK is definitely raising rates tomorrow. US and Canada focusing again primarily on Ukraine, with 2 Fox News journalists being killed. And here we go, the political nonsense. Russia sanctions Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton, as if they're going to be particularly bothered. Now, what's happening ahead of today's FOMC meeting? Well, the dollar index is holding strong at 98.7. Energy prices, well, oil prices have come down a bit, thankfully. And we now have Brent crude at $101 and WTI at 97. Still far too high, but at least moving in the right direction. Equity markets actually a sign of relief, and we saw yesterday that the US markets were broadly up 2 to 3%, as in the case of the Nasdaq. Asia Pacific markets also up. Look at the Hang Seng, up 9%. Mind you, it has been suffering of late, but up a whopping 9%. But still down 18% on the month and 30% on the year. And UK and European markets are also up above 2%, except for us here in the UK, where we're only up less than 1%. But that could be because of the interest rate rise expectation. Cryptocurrency markets starting to rise as they do. If the Nasdaq goes up, then generally speaking, the crypto market goes up 4%, with Bitcoin now above 40,000. So what about gold and silver? Because this is why we're here. Well, gold today, over the last 24 hours, is down $11. But over the week, it has fallen back somewhat. And we can see that it closed on Friday at 1988. It's fallen back to the current level of 1923. Why? Because the Ukraine situation was at its peak last week. Whilst things have not, in our view, really particularly improved, the rhetoric has improved, and of course we have the pending interest rate rise. And so gold has met some headwinds, profit-taking, and the fear factor dissipating just a little, and we've seen this basically $65 fall. But we have to also note it has been lower at 1907. So maybe it is going to meander above the 1900 level. Silver price, I have to refresh the page because it changes literally minute by minute. 24.82, up 15 cents, and we think great, but not so great when we compare with what it was like on Friday's close. We had 25.88, we're now on 24.82. That's down $1.06 since Friday's close. However, it did perform extraordinarily well last week. Been as low as 24.56. We have to bear these things in mind. They're crucial. Where's the price going to go from here, really? It will all depend on what is said this afternoon. And, of course, what occurs in the Ukraine. Tomorrow, we'll publish a video highlighting the key changes and our thoughts as a result of the FOMC meeting. We may even wait for the Bank of England's Monetary Policy Committee decision as well before we publish that video for two reasons. The first, so that we can encompass both sides of the pond, but secondly, it will also give us a guide as to the relativity of the dollar index in terms of its weight against the other basket of key global currencies. And whatever decision we make in the UK will have a slight impact on the relative balance of the dollar index. That's it for now. Have a great day, everyone. Keep your eyes peeled. It's going to be an interesting week. We said in our weekly update last Saturday, expect some oscillation. We have expected markets to fall unless the situation in Ukraine got significantly worse, and by markets I mean the gold and silver precious metal markets. However, that said, we also have to bear in mind that some of this may already be factored in. Thank you so much for listening. Please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, press the bell sign, and watch out for our video tomorrow, because it's unlikely we'll produce one on Friday, and so tomorrow will be the key one for the week. Illuminati silver owners come from a background of banking, international wealth management, and economics. Having now retired from these worlds, we are not qualified to give investment advice. Therefore, this and other productions must not be deemed to be giving such advice, and merely represent the personal views of its owners.